Discussion and action on approval to reconsider the approval of the comprehensive master plan for scope of work and cost estimate by Site Southwest Incorporated during the special council meeting held September 17, 2009. Mayor?
We have a signed contract with Site.
Well, it's good, because let me have the floor, and I'll explain why that item's on the agenda.
Okay, go ahead.
The reason this item is on the agenda, sir, about the comprehensive master plan, is because like Ms. Friday said earlier when she gave this presentation, when we were told that we needed a master plan in place, we were told that there wasn't one other than the crayon version as shown in that portrait of the very first council. Right. We were not told about the additional stuff that was involved that she has on her desk showing about the comprehensive plan that was already in place, that was funded and got grant obtained. We were never told, sir. And I know that you know this, and you Chewy knew this because Chewy's name's all over that contract. So the fact that this council, this Moreno Cárdenas and the Site Southwest want to come in here and charge us $352,000 to update something that we already have in place, I think it's an extraordinary amount of money, and I think it's too expensive. And I think we need to go back and look at it again and see what we can do to correct that. Mr. Olagi is working under contract about the fact that there are places that we could get the grant and we can qualify very easily to get the money to offset the cost of updating the master plan. These two issues, since they were kept from us, or I felt they were kept from us, I think warrants enough for us to go back and say, wait a minute, we're going to have to hold off on this $352,000 you want to spend so Moreno Cárdenas to come in here and do this. And I have another question, and I have this one, Mr. Ganda. Moreno Cárdenas is the same people that he said in one of the meetings, I don't want to work with you individuals because they, and he was very upset at them at the time, and he wasn't going to give them a contract, award them a contract. Now he's all in favor of awarding the contract. I don't understand why. Oh yeah, I just asked. I'm asking.
Okay, the facts is that Moreno Cárdenas does the engineering work. They're not the project managers. And you're right, I think no secret about my discontent with Moreno Cárdenas. Fortunately for me, Moreno Cárdenas is not the project managers of the master plan, which is Site Southwest. They're the ones we have a contract with. They're the ones who I feel would do a really good job and would be able to implement this master plan. So Moreno Cárdenas and Site Southwest are not equal partners. Moreno Cárdenas is a contracted employee for Site Southwest, and they are responsible for making sure that they stay on target. The issue we had before Moreno Cárdenas was they were our project managers, and they were horrible project managers. Difference is this time it's Site Southwest, who's going to be supervising Moreno Cárdenas, who is one of the biggest beings in town when it comes to engineering, which is why I'm okay with giving Moreno Cárdenas that portion of the work because they will not be responsible. It'll be Site Southwest, who we have the contract with and will be supervising the project. That's the first reasoning that you asked for. The second one, this withholding of information, ludicrous. This whole conversation has been about that we only have one comprehensive plan, and we've only ever had one comprehensive plan. It's just either you don't understand how master plans work, you don't understand the scope of work that goes into a master plan, or you're completely confused. But let me explain it to you. That big color-coded chart that you talked about, that is our comprehensive plan. Anything else that Ms. Friday made, and again, maybe you two are on the same boat on this one. There is only one master plan, and that was the one that was given. And I think this is perfect.
Just to correct you.
Yes, no, I think
why don't you read what it says on the very cover of those things, sir? Why don't you read what it says on the cover of those things?
December 1988. What's even more impressive is the date. December 1988. I think anybody in this city would agree there's a big difference between City of Socorro 2010 and City of Socorro 1988. And so if you can't see if there's a difference in the way this city should be run, and the amount of people that use our streets, and the amount of lighting needs to go up, and the amount of drainage, and you want to refer back to December 1988 when nobody ever thought the City of Socorro was going to get any bigger. That wasn't the intent. So, do we need a master plan now? Yes. The city hasn't done one since 1988. And we wonder why we have congestion on our streets. We wonder why we let neighborhoods go up. And you want to say, we already have a master plan. I'm going to go back to what I said earlier about this city always has excuses why nothing can ever get done. People ask me in my community, they'll say, why do I have congestion on my streets, Mr. Ganda? Why haven't you built a third lane? Why haven't you expanded Socorro Road? And the answer is in the master plan. The master plan is what the city uses to grow and account for growth. I'm going to say because Mr. Cox, with the ability with Ms. Friday, since she produced these plans, believes that they can acquire a grant. Mr. Cox, we can't get grants to pave the streets, and you're telling me we'll get a grant for the master plan. And I'm saying, give me a break. We budgeted for it. We budgeted for it. We have it budgeted, the $350,000, and you make it seem like it's a lot, but if you go back into any city, that's how much master plans cost. That's not the expensive Raider, that's not the Cadillac, that's the bare bones minimum. And you know why they cost so much? Because it costs money to account for growth. It costs money to do engineering surveys, which is what master plan. To find out where the subdivisions are going to be allowed to go in. To find out where the new roads need to be placed. That costs money because it's future planning. We don't have a master plan. This master plan is inadequate by at least 15 years. And that's why we have all the congestion we have. That's why we have all the neighborhoods going up that shouldn't be going up, because we don't have a master plan. And this is scary to me from Ms. Frank and Mr. Cox. And now you're saying, again, we don't need a master plan.
However, Mr. Gandara, the thing is, you've got to update your master plan. We've had a master plan, but hardly anybody has used it. The plan should be long range, where here in your thing it says it's from 1988 to 2010 is this master plan for. And it's also stated in there, there should only be one official comprehensive plan. And what the point that is we're bringing to you tonight is you cannot have two. And that is what I wanted to tell you, to share with you this evening, that you're preparing to do another master plan.
Again, we have two options. One is we have it already budgeted, we move forward with it, which is what I'm advocating for, because it's already been budgeted. The second is we apply for a grant that will probably be available in a year, and probably be a year of competition, and then we'll see if we get it. And by then, we're 3 years down with no master plan. But I think it's real important what you said. You said 2008 to 2010.
But
I mean,
wait.
1988 to 2010. Well, what year do we think you were in?
How long have you been in the council, Mr. Gandara? I thought about the master plan then.
Well, you were there long all this.
Yeah,
And actually,
all
that's
I'm
a good point you bring it up, because historically, I placed the master plan on the agenda about 3 years ago, about 4 times. Have you looked at the scope of work and the contract that has been submitted?
For a full master plan, yes, sir.
Well, have you looked at the
But
scope of work?
we need an updated master plan. They're starting from scratch. They don't need to start from scratch. They need to start from where we left off.
I want to remind you that this company, and maybe this will clarify why I come to the defense of this master plan, is the company that we've acquired, they're doing the downtown master plan for Albuquerque. They've done work in Austin for their master plan. Again, this council finally did something progressive. They brought in a company that can do a master plan, that can handle congestion, and now all I'm hearing is we're going to put it on hold, we're going to stop it, and we're going to see how the grants go. And again, we're stopping progress with the city, and that's a bothers me.
You know, Mayor,
Okay?
Council,
Jerry, yes.
please tell me, can we have a master plan? Can you tell us about this issue? Do we have to update the old one, or do we have to go with this default?
How does this sign contract?
The contract that we've worked on actually understood all along that it was going to be an update, that it was their error in putting the contract together, that they didn't indicate that it was going to be an update. What they told us is that that they had been made aware that there was an old master plan, and in fact the RFQ for the master plan said that it was an update. It did say that it was of limited use to them from the standpoint of developing a new plan, because it was so old and because it was typed and not in electronic format.
Okay, what is the motion?
This is to disapprove and to give notice to terminate the contract for item number 15 made by Mr. Victor Cox, seconded by Mr. Faulkner. Mr. Victor Cox?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Fernandez?
Yes.
Tommy Faulkner?
Yes.
Mr. Fernandez?
Oh, the motion again?
To disapprove and to give notice to terminate the contract for item number 15.
No, of course not.
Mr. Gandara? No. This item is approved in order to disapprove.